Going into floor 74, I actually took it off of multi. So if you are newer and you are struggling on Void Tower, what I want to do is I want to talk through and I want to talk about my rotation and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Hello everybody, my name is BearCozy and today we're playing some Awaken Chaos Era. If it's your first time here, I strive to make not only entertaining, but also educational content and to put as much value in my videos as I can. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back and watching my videos. All of your support means a lot to me and I value every single one of you. Today is all about Void Tower and I want to continue climbing. In the last Void Tower video, we actually climbed from 1 to 51, or actually to 50, and I stopped there. As you can see, I got a ton of rewards starting from floor 10 all the way through 50, and I wanted to claim all these together at the end. So a couple of things to note. This is on normal difficulty, which is common. And since Void Tower reset not too long ago, I am starting again from common difficulty. In the last rotation, I did make it too hard, but I did not make it very far through hard. And as you can see, it's locked right now because I have to clear normal. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into it and we're going to continue progressing in Void Tower. Now, the team I have been using and I'm going to continue using for now is Connor, Nathalia, Aurak, and Zatlux. So the idea here is Connor goes first. He puts up our buffs, not only increasing everyone's attack, but also activating Nathalia's trait, which allows all her spells to deal AoE damage instead of single target. And then, of course, the attack buff carries over to Zatlux, who is going third. So Connor goes first. Nathalia goes second, Zatlux is going third to clean up whoever's left. And if we get to a boss that Nathalia and Zatlux cannot kill, of course, Aurak is going to do his ultimate. And his ultimate actually scales off the enemy max HP, which allows him to do massive, massive damage. 4 spells I am going to be using. Sundering Purgatory. So Connor is going to go first. He's going to put up his buffs. And then he's going to put down the defense down on the enemy. Nathalia is going to go second. She is not only going to put up her own buffs, but also use the Rage Aura, which will give her a lot more attack. And hopefully clean up the wave completely by herself. And if she does not, Zatlux is going to follow up and clean up whoever's left. Once you clear Doom Tower, you do get a nice little multi-battle, which you could see here. And then you can just multi the whole thing if you choose to. Now, as the video was getting longer last time around, I wanted to stop at floor 50 and talk a little bit about synergy, gear, and why I was using who I was using. Starting with floor 51, you may not be able to see that, but we are starting on floor 51. I am probably right in front of floor 51. Hopefully you could see that. So the idea here is Connor goes first, puts up his buffs, increasing everyone's attack, activating Nathalia's trait. Nathalia uses the Rage Aura, which gives her 30% more damage. It used to be 50, but they recently nerfed it, which is unfortunate. And of course, Zatlux is going to come in and do his thing. So there's floor 51. It seems fairly easy. And that's because I have really good synergy with the team. So as you can see, we have really good synergy. There goes Connor going first, putting up his buffs, activating Nathalia's trait. There goes attack up, Rage Aura, boom, she's nuking, everybody's dead. So not only does this team have really good synergy, but the other thing you'll notice is I actually have a full elemental advantage team. And that means that I have Nathalia, who is water, I have Zatlux, who is wood, and I actually have Aurak, who is fire. And that covers the whole elemental advantage. Now, your heroes that have elemental advantage over the enemy will do 50% increased damage. So making sure you have an elemental advantage in your team is very, very important. Going into floor 54 and normal Void Tower, here we go. You could see my team is doing quite well. Right now it's rinse and repeat, and I'm primarily using this team because not only they have really good synergy, but they also cover every element, providing me a hero for elemental advantage wherever I need it. So the heroes that Nathalia is weak to, Zatlux is strong to, and vice versa. And of course we have Aurak in here for fire, not only for the bosses, but also for the elemental advantage versus wood. So that is actually really good. I'm going to continue and go through. You can see the enemies are starting to get harder. And of course, the debuff in this rotation is Blessing of the Seven Gods. When stacked 7 times, it stuns the target during attack for 1 turn. This effect cannot be removed. So if I take too many turns, my heroes will actually get stunned attacking the enemy. So the idea is to bring as much damage as I can and to clear as many floors as possible. So what I'm going to do, since my team is doing fine, I'm going to go ahead and skip a few floors so you don't have to watch the whole thing for an hour. Going into floor 60, you can see we are moving right along. This has been actually fairly interesting, and I'm liking the synergy with this team. And you can see just how far you can get with a team that synergizes really well. In the last video, I went over all their gear, as I do very frequently in most of my videos. My gear has not changed at all since the last video, and they're doing fairly well. And I like to record these videos because it gives me lots of progressions. Let's see. Let me think for a second here. Let me see. Who do we want to kill? Let's see how this goes. Normally, on auto, they do okay, but sometimes AI is not the smartest. The enemies are starting to get closer to level 50, which is okay. Zatlux taking them down, and they go down very, very easily. So as you're climbing Void Tower, the whole idea is to bring heroes that do AoE damage. Now, there are a few heroes that do AoE damage. There is Sierra, who is going to be really, really good here. You can also bring Evira. You can also bring Arendelle and anybody else that can do AoE damage. And then, of course, as we continue climbing, let's go ahead and see if we can kill Cece here. There she goes. Cece is one of the hardest ones to kill in Void Tower because she does have that 2-hit nullifier, and that tends to get a little bit more difficult. So bring anybody that you have that does AoE damage. Try to fill out the full elemental advantage. Try to take advantage of that. And of course, Connor you can get from the Hero Covenant as well as Zatlux. Now, Connor is actually very easy to pull. I pulled Connor. He's been very, very easy for me. I think he is maxed out all the way. He's only level 50, but he is 5-star ascended, so that's not too bad. Zatlux, I actually ended up getting lucky, and I pulled him, and then I got another copy from the Covenant by completing that. So those 2 heroes are fairly easy to get. If you're just starting and you're new, go ahead and focus, do your battles in Arena, and getting Zatlux should take you about 2 weeks or so, depending on how much or how little you play. And Connor is extremely easy. All you have to do is clear Chapter 2, Stage 4, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then you challenge him and you get him. So he's very, very easy, and he's actually really easy to pull. I've pulled tons of Connor. The whole idea here is for synergy. Now, I want to go ahead and kill Nathalia. Let's see if we can target her before the auto takes over. Nathalia will res them all. I don't think I clicked on her fast enough. She is going to heal and res them all if we don't kill her. So, but there goes Aurak. He should finish her off. There she goes. Dead. Dead and dead. Going into floor 68, we are moving right along, and it's actually looking okay. Now, the enemies are starting to get harder, and the AI is actually not the best. As you can see, they use everything they have on the first wave, and then the second wave, making it a lot harder because we don't have defense down, and we don't have the Rage Aura. Now, I would like to target Nathalia. I hope I clicked on her. Want to go ahead and kill her. There we go. If you did not know, while your runs are on multi, you can still click and target the enemies that you want. So there's a quick tip for you. I know not everybody knows that. So hopefully that helps. Going into floor 69, as you can see, my team uses all of their spells. And then, of course, as we get to the last wave, it's actually getting a little bit harder and a little bit slower. So what I'm going to do is, if we end up getting stuck, let's go ahead and focus Rhodeira down since she is our healer. She's not a great healer, but she's the only healer that I can pull, so I've been using her a lot. And I'd like to kill her. And you can see Zatlux did not have enough there, unfortunately. But we did get Urzak down. All we got left is Kane and Rhodeira. So that's not too bad. Connor's going to do his thing. Now, as we do start to go up floor 70 and above, and as we start to get stuck and we fail the runs, I am most likely going to have to manual this, primarily because the AI is not very smart. So here we are, floor 70. Hopefully you can see that behind me. We are on floor 70. And if we do get stuck here, I know floor 70 or 75 does tend to get a little bit harder. So if we do end up getting stuck here, we're going to talk about some options for heroes and some other things that we can do. So here we go. Let's see, who is this? This is wave 2 of 3. Should be fairly easy. Nothing Nathalia and Zatlux can't handle. And we're going to go into the boss. Aurak is actually a very recent addition to my roster. I got him not too long ago from the bartender. Here we go. Nathalia again. So, and if you did not know, you can... No, Nathalia. I accidentally clicked on Nicholas. If you did not know, you can actually get Aurak with event tokens. And that is fairly easy to do. Participate in a few events, and you should be able to... Let's see if Aurak can finish her off. There we go. Participate in a few events, and you should be able to get a full copy of Aurak, and that will help you a lot, as his ultimate does deal damage based on the enemy's max HP. So there we go. There's Nicholas. We'll see if he goes down. Not quite, but very, very close, down to 3%. He's going to do his ultimate, of course, but we should be okay. And there he goes. We got some heals coming in from Connor. And there we go. Now, as you're noticing, a lot of these enemies are starting to have tough healers on the last round. So we are going to have to use some clever mechanics. We might have to bring in a provoke champion, a taunt champion, and a silence champion and or silence. So we're gonna see how it goes, and we're gonna use our heroes depending on what we need. Now, right now I have a very small roster, but I do have Virgil at 50. He does have an AoE silence, so that will help. I did pull Lunar Melisa recently. I also just got Bruzak, which is awesome. I'm very, very happy getting Bruzak. He's going to be amazing in here, but he is not built, and right now I don't have resources. So as we continue to progress, I will slowly work on my heroes. Going into floor 74, I actually took it off of multi because a couple of things, I forgot to look at the rewards and I wanted to. And as you could see, I got lots of shiny goodies, lots of pumpkins, and lots of Stardust. So that is actually going to be awesome. I want to go ahead and claim all this at once, as well as the Ancient Summoning Crystal, which is going to give me a guaranteed epic or legendary. So that is going to be awesome. That is one thing. The other reason I wanted to take this off of multi is I wanted to go ahead and talk about what we can do. So if you are newer and if you see yourself struggling, let's go into this and I will talk through the last two waves. So if you are newer and you are struggling on Void Tower, what I want to do is I want to talk through and I want to talk about my rotation and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So Connor is actually, you can see Connor has the Berserker banner, which is the buffs, and you can go ahead and use that right away. Now, if you are finding yourself failing these runs, failing these floors, particularly on the wave 2 and 3, we are starting to see a lot of very difficult bosses. What you can do is you can actually manual this through, and the whole idea here is to manual the first wave or the first two waves, depending on how many you have, and to save all of your abilities for the last wave. Nathalia's ultimate actually resets if the enemy is killed, so we can go ahead and use her ultimate, and if she kills an enemy, her ultimate will be available again for the boss fight. So knowing that she can kill them, I went ahead and used it. Now that allows her to use her ultimate again. So manualing through the first wave to the boss wave is key if you are getting stuck. That is one of the things you can do. So Connor is going to go ahead and use defense down. There goes defense down. We got lucky, it landed on all of them. He actually has his basics, so we're going to use a defense break, which is not going to proc because we already have defense down on Zitlin. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to manual Rage Aura on Nathalia, and then I'm going to use her ultimate and hopefully take down at least one of these enemies, or if not fully, we get them close. Now Zitlin does die, which is very, very good. Sierra, I am worried about, as she does a ton of damage, but I don't think Zatlux is going to be able to kill her. So we're going to go for Valak, and hopefully we can kill him in the back there. So there we go, killing him. Killing, was it Tazago, I think? And actually, Sierra went down. Very, very surprising that Zatlux killed her. That was very good for us, probably because he had the elemental advantage. We are going into floor 75, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to manual this one last time. So if you are getting stuck, hopefully me manualing it will help you so you could see exactly what I'm doing and why. Now, the idea is to save not only your spells that you're bringing, which I have Sundering Purgatory, which you can see there, and I also have the Rage Aura spell. The idea is to save not only those spells, but also the ultimates for the boss wave, which is going to be key. Now, I am going to manual. I'm going to put up my buffs with Connor. Then I'm going to use Nathalia's ultimate with no Rage Aura, no defense down, and hopefully kill them so her ultimate can get reset. Now, you can see we killed 2, and 2 are still up, which is okay. Zatlux should finish them both up, and of course, if he kills an enemy, his ultimate gets reset as well. So there we go. There's 1, there's 2. Both their ultimates are available. We are going into wave 2, so we're just going to casually repeat the process. Now, at the end of this wave, since we do have 3 waves here, all of my heroes will lose Connor's buffs. If you are finding yourself struggling, go ahead and wait to buff till wave 2 so you can have them available for the boss fight. Now, I am going to use Nathalia's ultimate again. Unfortunately, she's going to lose her buffs, but I think we should be okay, and if we're not, we can always try this again. So there goes Zatlux, and his ultimate is going to get reset since he got a bunch of kills. Going in to the last wave on the boss, Yolanda is very, very good and very strong with her shields. Her shields actually scale off of her team's missing HP. We saved all of our spells for this reason, so what we want to do is we want to use all of our spells. Go ahead and put defense down from Connor. And as I've mentioned, Connor is very easy to get from the Covenant. And now Connor's Berserk Banner buff is actually up again. So we're going to go ahead and buff everybody, giving them more attack. So that's going to help them a lot. Now, since Nathalia is next, we're going to go ahead and use her Rage Aura. Since we've saved it from the first 2 waves, we're going to use it now to maximize our damage output on the boss, and hopefully, at very minimal, kill Yolanda. So there we go. We're going to use our ultimate, and we'll see what happens here. So she's going to go ahead and nuke. Yolanda is still standing, which is okay. We still have Zatlux, and we got Aurak. So I am going to go ahead and target Yolanda. Hopefully, she will go down. And there we go. He kills her. He's down, and the last guy is left, barely alive. Aurak's ultimate should take care of him. So if you do get stuck, that is how you get through the tower. Now, if that doesn't work for you, you are going to have to bring in some silence or some AoE taunt, or you might even have to bring in wind streaks, which I did. I did make a video about that. As I cleared Void Tower in the last rotation, I ended up bringing wind streaks because my team was too slow, and I actually ended up bringing Virgil because that's all I had. But using Virgil's ultimate ability, which is AoE silence, meant that the enemy team's skills got locked out and they could only use their basics. There we go. There's floor 75. There's our reward. Since the video is getting a little bit longer, I am going to split this into 2 parts. And as you can see, we've climbed pretty well. We still have all our rewards. And in the next video, we are going to go from floor 75 through 100 and most likely manual some of that as we start to get stuck. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do me a favor, give me a subscribe and a like. The subscribe will help my channel grow, and the like will help the YouTube algo to drive my video so more people like you can see it, and hopefully it will help them as well. And it will also help me to grow the channel, so it's a win-win for everybody. Leave me a comment down below if you are stuck or how you're progressing. I really want to know how you're doing. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them best I can. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.